Nah, see, you're not on mine.
I don't know. I'm kind of waiting. I mean, personally, I'm like anticipating some sort of, technical bullshit to happen. Honestly.
No, wait, I just realized you're not on my live stream. I don't think this is, yeah, we're live right now, but I don't think this is working on mine.
Okay, well, at least it's working on my side. I mean, we'll keep, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But welcome back to your favorite comedy finance channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget we could go to 0 within the next 5 minutes and it'll be all your fault, not mine, okay? You're going to have to take your own risk. You're going to have to wear your own diapers. Don't forget it. What's going on, John? How's it going?
Not much, man. Apparently, I'm pretty bad with technology. Didn't even know how to set this up on my own YouTube channel with you. But no, just chilling, man. I got this nice sweater on, and I noticed you're wearing it too.
I have to shout out my little brother. He helps me. He does all the clothing department stuff, all the designs and all that stuff. And then I also work with Dead Punk. He's one of our artists, really badass guy. He's actually going to make me a new portrait, so I'm excited about that. I did just, before we get started, I did take a look at a few comments. They were asking about a variety of different picks like Suku and Math Token, PNG, PBR, Arc Block, all sorts of different picks. And, look, guys, when a call gets made, that doesn't make a good project a good project, okay? The reason why they're called to begin with, or the reason why tokens are even highlighted to begin with, is because they're good enough to be called. They're good enough to be recognized. So the project makes the project a good project, not because it got called, okay? We just happen to be catching the ride, okay? But how are you feeling? What's your forecast, bro? What are you thinking as we go forward past 420?
Honestly, I know this little black swan event is scaring a lot of people, but I really don't feel like much has changed in the trajectory of what's going to eventually transpire. Like, I still think 2025 is going to be like the real rips. I still think the Bitcoin halving, maybe now it's going to be not too much of a pump because of this whole catalyst of what's taking place. But I've never looked at black swan events and got so scared. Like, to me, I just look at it. If the price is red, I buy, and if it's green, I just chill and enjoy it. So to me, nothing's
black swan event though. I mean, we saw the sand Jews fighting again, or pretending to fight each other. I personally, it just looks like another bottle rocket show, and this mysterious iron dome that blows up rockets. But again, I didn't really see this black swan event. I did see that pullback, but I don't know. I don't think that I think we're gonna be going up, to be honest.
I mean, honestly, this could be manipulation too. Like, everyone kept saying a sell-off was going to happen. Bitcoin went from literally like 70K to 65K, and then in a matter of a week, went from 65K to 61K, back up again, back down again, back up again. That's a big swing for Bitcoin. So the old coins, of course, are going to get smashed.
Yeah. I think that if we could, personally, I think the crypto market's still emerging. And I think the corrections have already happened. Like, we've seen a lot of fractures already. Like, we've already went through our big crash, and the stock market is just now crashing, I feel like. Yesterday I did a stream, and I noticed that we're only like at 2 trillion market cap. And I was like, yeah, we're nowhere near finished.
Yeah, it goes to show how early we are. Like, I mean, I've been buying and you've been buying since the bear market. Those were the real discounts. Like, I was telling people yesterday, like, this is nothing. If you think this is bad, you don't know what it's like seeing FTX crumble, Terra Luna, top 10 crypto go down, SEC target everybody, 15K Bitcoin, $900 Ethereum. That was quote unquote fear. This is nothing. I mean, this is just something no one really saw coming, but unfortunately it's one of those situations you just can't control, but you're just forced to adapt to. So for me, it's like, it's just another day in the office to me. I don't really care about these dips. I just look at it as like, do I have enough money to buy the discounts? Is really what the...
Yeah, I didn't, I don't know why people were like, I felt like it was like a buying opportunity, if anything. I feel like You know what's actually silly now that I'm thinking about all of the selling that was going on supposedly? I don't think it was really like retail, to be honest, but LCX, you know, a lot of people are not like, they keep forgetting about that token.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like one of my biggest bags, you know, and I know I don't talk about it. See, here's the thing. This is the most bias that me and you both go through, because do we ever really talk about ArcBlock anymore? Do we ever really talk about LCX? Do we need to? No, they're going to do fine by themselves. You know, they're beast projects. But it's like, they're so beast. It's like, you don't really need to introduce them anymore. Like once the project's introduced, then like retail takes care of it from there, or like, you know, it gets the highlight that it needs. And then the project just does what it does best, be a good project, you know? So it's, I don't, do you really feel like a project's a good project if you constantly need to talk about it, right? You know,
No, it just goes to show you how emerging the marketplace is. Like a lot of these picks, like I called recently Florida. I noticed Suku, even Map Token, the one you called, like they all have like 2,000 holders. And if you go on the marketplace, they're usually on just like Coinbase. So oftentimes it's just going to be YouTubers marketing it at first, right? But then, like you said, Art Block, now you see everyone talking about it. I mean, you still see people that have no idea what it's about, obviously, and fading it, which is, it is what it is, whatever. But that's just the nature of crypto. You know, if you want to be early, you're going to be here before the confirmation bias, which is essentially everybody and their mom being bullish on that crypto. So I look at it like a win. It just goes to show you again how early we actually are to our place. And also,
I'm happy you brought up Math Token real quick. So I saw, so this is kind of goes in the conversation I was having yesterday, where we were talking about how first and foremost, you shouldn't drive yourself crazy looking at order books, because the order books, depending on what tool you're using, are inaccurate, you know, or they're bots trading against each other. You got Mev bots and stuff like that. So a lot of times, you know, people get discouraged, or they don't know what's really going on because they're trying to monitor the trade book. And like, for instance, DEX tools is a good tool to find tokens or to buy something, or kind of like look at some certain things, but it's not the law. You know what I mean? Like the law is Etherscan, you know, when you're taking a look at the actual network glossary, you know what I'm saying? Like you're actually looking at the real index of what that network is. That's kind of when you could kind of see what's recorded on the ledger. When you're looking at DEX tools, or you're looking at these other tools like KyberSwap or whatever the case, guys, you cannot take a look at those and think like, oh, you know, this is exactly what's going on, or like this is a human trading, or this is how many tokens this particular wallet has. And that's not true, because I saw yesterday, or it was 2 days ago, I don't remember when it was over Math Token, and I think over PBR, where it was like they were saying like, oh, you know, this wallet has like 95% of the supply. I'm like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, and they were trying to look at it from like DEX tools, and I'm like, man, come on, like look at Etherscan, take a look at that, you know, take a look at the network, and then get an idea of what's going on. There's a variety of different things. You know, shout out to Ellie Fucks, because she fucks hard. I'm telling you, don't forget to follow her on Twitter. You know, she is a pretty hot babe out there. So MYC. I actually sent her an MYC hoodie as well. She said she's wearing it. And shout out to a lot of you guys. You know, I appreciate the support, you know, from the crypto sector in general, you know, just supporting MYC and kind of supporting the culture. I know we're kind of like the wild card. And I appreciate when you guys that are like, you know, way more professional than me, you know, way more clean cut. I feel like your research is very spot on whenever you're talking about different things. Like, I feel like the in-depth, like how you go in depth about different tokens is a better style. It's a cleaner style than the way I do things. So I always appreciate stuff like that. Especially when you guys actually like shed light on people like us, you know, we're like half clean cut, half degen a little bit. So, you know, it's always good to see that. But I do want to just like, you know, tell a lot of the audiences out there, like, use different references when you're taking a look at different tokens. You know, don't just use CoinGecko. Don't just use CoinMarketCap, because that's owned by Binance. So, you know, they can manipulate the ATHs. They can manipulate a lot of different things on those. So I like using LiveCoinWatch.com. And I don't know if you have any other search engines that you use besides that.
for me, I use I noticed they're all like some of them are off. Like
Yeah,
CoinMarketCap tends to follow Coinbase, CoinGecko, and Livecoin. The one I
Coinbase
got
especially. Oh my god, like
always off. Like it says GFI, for example, 25% circling. Then you go on the one you just said, Livecoin Watch or whatever, and that one says 70%. That's a drastic difference. So it's like they really should be on the same, page here. But at the very least, at least it gives us something to look, to reference to. But I like the one that you brought up, Live Coin Watch. I've actually pulled it up on a previous live stream before. The chart actually looks better to watch too for cryptos, and it gives a little more data than I noticed CMC at times. So it's not bad to add to it. I like it.
so. So I just saw a comment about the SEC regarding DEXs and all that stuff. And I know a lot of the recent picks that we've taken, like Arrow, PNG, PBR, like guys, DEXs are going to get the most volume. Because users are going to need to travel network to network to either transfer money, or they're going to need to buy something. Whether it's for the particular token that you like, or it's just a bridge over to that network. Okay. So it's a massive use case, especially for different tokens that have niche use cases. The SEC, I really don't give two shits about, when it comes down to what clarity. There's no clarity yet. There's nothing yet. It's a lot of theatrics right now. And to be honest with you, a lot of the tokens out there, like, LCX or XRP, Dragon Chain, whatever, there's a lot of blue chips that are currently on tier 1 exchanges that have been scrutinized to be securities. XRP being the biggest story. Okay. It's on Coinbase now. So, at this point, no one gives a fuck, and they're just buying whatever, so I don't really have those mainstream narrative thoughts. I don't even give clout to it. I don't really talk about it because it doesn't matter. You're going to buy the token or you're not. Like, look at XRP. XRP has, there's not a lot of ROI there clearly, but like, there's billions in market cap, billions of dollars going through that. A lot of people talking about it, people marketing it, all sorts of algorithm for it. And no one cares. So it to me, like, the whole SEC and like, oh, is this going to be an SEC problem? Like, no, I'm going to buy. I don't care. That's the whole purpose of decentralization. There's no authority stopping us to interact with a smart contract. I really do like the freedom of speech narrative on this whole thing, because, and shout out to Richard Hart on that, because I do agree with him on that. Like, code is language. It's computer language. So it's a form of speech. So I do see that argument very well, but I also see the argument of just different currencies utilized for different use cases. If you go to Chuck E. Cheese's and you want to play their arcade game, or if you go to any other sort of theme park type of scenario, you're exchanging fiat dollars for the credits of that establishment to play their games or to play their services or to play their products. So you need to buy those tokens or those credits. It could be whatever you want to call it. It's the same shit. You're exchanging US dollars or whatever your currency is for that product or service. Those are not securities. Securities are equities. Securities are percentages of a company. That's what securities are. So to say that Chuck E. Cheese tokens are securities is foolish. It's not an argument. So that's just me. And that's just the way I see things. And there's no clarity on that. So I don't typically get into those conversations because it's pointless. Because people are still buying these tokens and they're still fucking skyrocketing past Uranus. I don't know. So so I don't really care about all that stuff.
Honestly,
well, go ahead. Sorry.
I think the SEC sort of struck out when they lost the case to XRP. And honestly, like you just said, I don't even really take them seriously much anymore. I feel like this is just manipulation because, let's be honest here, no one thought Bitcoin was going to pump as fast as it did, as early as it did. And DEXs, DeFi, all that's the future, right? So, you think about it in their eyes, what's the fastest way to cause fear and slow down growth? Go after the
Hey, well, hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Try.
So whoever JY is, eat a dick. Hold on, let me mark you as spam real quick. Hold on.
What do you say?
Eat a dick. How about that? All right, now you're gone. Fucking dead. All right.
What was the comment?
What were you saying?
I wasn't reading the chat.
Well, yeah, I'm reading. Some guy was like, "I hate Dia. I hate that guy." I'm like, "Okay, great."
I'll say the SEC. I don't really take him seriously anymore because honestly,
let me know if anyone else hates me. Anybody, let me know.
Listen, people hate me too. I could care less. I even said it yesterday on my video. If you're going on Twitter, it's very simple. I just block you and you're never seen again. You can make a separate account and block you again. It's not that tough, right? But I was saying the SEC, I feel like they're just, to me, if I had to take a stab at this, obviously it's all just what I think. I think they're trying to slow down the growth of the cycle. It went too fast, too aggressive. So they're going after narratives and niches, which are DEXs, DeFi, W3, that is more of a threat to established growth. And DEXs, everyone is like KuCoin's in hot water. Uniswap, biggest DEX for Ethereum. So to me, it's not random. They're just trying to cause enough fear, I think, to slow it down a little bit. But at some point, they're going to lose power. The ETF, the halvings tomorrow, it's going to just be a shit show, and they're going to end up just losing anyway. But they're trying to shake out the people that are sort of beginners or on the fence before they make their move, I think.
So, John, I heard you've been scamming people into profits. About that?
Yeah, I saw BitBoy put me at the top of the list. I mean, obviously,
shout out to Ben. I always knew he was going to be, an MYC type of member. As soon as I've been saying divorce now, make money later for a long time. And when I saw it all happen in front of me, I was like, he's going to come over at some point. but no, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you and Ben. It's always cool when, because I can, well, I don't know if Ben is considered like clean cut anymore, but, it's always good to see, some sort of highlight or respect from some of you guys. But anyways, shout out to you, man. But besides that, can you talk what are you most bullish on right now? Is it Suku or what are you looking at right now?
I mean, it depends what you're looking at. Like in terms of overall market, I still love Art Block and LCX. I think those are probably the two best bangers aside from a store value. I love layer ones, my most bullish narrative. So in terms of safety, I think those still win, which I know Casper gets a lot of hate, but I love Casper. But Art Block to me is the biggest banger. Every time I see what they're doing, what's coming out in the woodworks, and Robert Mao, I noticed, is starting to be a little more proactive with marketing. It just makes me so bullish. And then the emerging marketplaces that we've been doing recently, I mean, you see it. I just love DEXs, DeFi. Web3 is also one that I'm really love. I just think as a utility investor, you want to think of future trends and what's going to be the ultimate vision going forward. And when you think of that, it's hard to imagine a future without Web3, DeFi, and DEXs. So I mean, hence why many of our plays have been in those narratives. What about you?
I like making money.
That PBR call, I didn't jump on it, but man, that PBR call, boy, that's
so.
Well,
Arc Block and LCX are my most bullish picks, and those are my biggest bags. And this is why it's funny because I barely talk about them. You
still bullish though?
Huh?
You still bullish? You haven't talked about it?
Yeah, we get those stupid ass questions on Twitter all the time. We're always saying some stupid stuff like, but Dion, or what about this one? And what about that? I'm like, well, what about Arc Block and LCX? Those are my biggest bags. I don't talk about them all the time. Like, does that mean I dump them? No, it doesn't. It's just, like OddApp, we get new people all the time, so it's like not everybody gets the bottoms that you guys got last year or, whenever you came in. Like there's going to be new bottoms and like those new users need new opportunities too. It's not just about you. However, I am going to be scoping out like new emerging markets. Like for right now, like I see a lot of new emerging markets. Like when we called, what was it? PNG. PNG was AVAX. Okay, that's a whole nother ecosystem. the recent call that I had, it's going to be a glory call, you know, for sure. It's going to be a glory call because like the whole market was tanking and we're still up. You know, we're still going up. PBR, Polka Bridge. Yeah. That's a whole nother ecosystem. Polkadot. Nobody's playing with it. I saw that it's an emerging market, and that's why I called it. You know, but
what is
it in the midst of a crash.
What is PBR? I didn't look into it.
So PBR is a Polkadot ecosystem, and it's basically it bridges Binance Smart Chain, and it bridges ETH and also Polkadot ecosystem. So you know, users between those ecosystems will be able to transfer money between all different networks, but it gets high as volume. I mean, we wrote it last cycle. It went up to $7. On the charts, it says the ATH was $5, but I remember $7 on that. We didn't get to write it to around those ranges though. But like, I remember we called it last cycle about 14 cents and we wrote it to $2-3 at that time, you know, but that was before we really were like, we were bouncing around a lot at that time, you know. Is it still going up? Perfect.
Yeah, 21 cents.
But you know, it gets a lot of volume, like because you think about it, it's gonna get a Binance listing soon. The admins already said they're gonna do list on Binance, and they're gonna add anywhere between $400,000 to $2 million in liquidity to the ETH pool. So that's gonna be a big bang, you know. But again, you know, Binance gets heavy volume; they're gonna get listing there. But also think about Polkadot, Binance, and also ETH network volume. So you're gonna have users bridging between all of those. That's gonna be high volume flowing through a token that's a 75 million coin cap. So, you know, and it doesn't matter what like there's 10 centralized exchanges right now, but you're going to get Binance soon. And if Binance lists, you're going to get more tier ones. But again, when you're getting that much volume going through a small cap like that, you know, last cycle, like I said, it went $7 on the chart showing 5, but I remember 7. But I anticipate it getting, I'm thinking 1.5 billion in market cap is what it'll reach. And that's going to be well over $15-20. Every 70 million market cap on that token is $1.
Yeah. So
every 100 million, market cap on that's $1.36. So it's heavy. And it did well last cycle. And I feel like it'll do well this cycle. And a lot of people, they say, well, you know, just because it performed well last cycle doesn't mean it'll do good this cycle. But I'm like, no, I think it'll perform better because they burned 2.3 million tokens. And then also on top of that, you know, now you have more accessibility. When I found it last cycle, they didn't have 10 exchanges. They didn't have really anything. So there's more accessibility now. And, you know, more people are going to know about it. And I think that I think it'll get heavy ass volume again, because it's not so much that people are like, oh, let's go buy this particular token. It's just that the necessity of the utility is what's needed, because you get to bridge from Polkadot to ETH to Binance. So like it's transfers of money, it's volume. Okay. And for instance, like the only reason why XRP and XLM, like I like using XRP and like I don't buy those coins anymore. I used to way back when, but I don't buy them or I don't hold them anymore. But the reason why XRP and XLM go up in price is not because people are buying and holding. Okay. XLM and XRP are good indicators to see where you are in the market. Okay. So the higher they go, the more volume that's transferring between the total market. Okay. Because people use like, whenever I buy XLM, I only buy it because I want to transfer money, and XLM has bridges everywhere. So because it has bridges everywhere, I buy XLM just to transfer money cheap. That's what I did last cycle. Yeah. And now I don't do that, you know, but back then I did it a lot, you know, but you know, this was back when I had like 15 exchanges. Now I got one and I'm good. But that was like really crazy. I mean, we were bouncing around so much around that time, but you know, XLM and XRP are good indicators of money transfer. So when you see high as volume and you see the prices elevating through XRP and XLM, it's giving you an idea of traffic in the market. So as those coins go up in price, you're seeing traffic in the market. So people aren't really holding it. You know, it's not really that the price going up means that people want to hold it. It just means that that's how much money is being transferred back and forth at reduced fees. Okay. So it's not something for me to really hold. It's just a bridge. That's what they say to you. That's what they say. They're just a bridge, you know?
And a bridge is just exposure. Yeah. Like you said. And what you tell it,
And the reason why you're not getting the reason why you're not getting the price action is because they're diluted. You know, you get both of them. I mean, XLM should be a higher price valuation than XRP, but because XLM is only like 50 billion coin supplies, but XRP is 100 billion coin supplies. But the only reason why you're not seeing the price action is simply because people are not buying it to hold it. They're buying it just to transfer cash. That's it. That's what it's for. So that same equation, okay, is happening with Polka Bridge, except for 3 other ecosystems: Binance, ETH, and Polkadot. Except it's not 100 billion coin supplies. Except it's not 50 billion coin supplies. You're talking about 75 million coin supplies through the 3 other huge ass ecosystems. So that's why you got that $5-7 ATH last cycle. It wasn't necessarily because people wanted to really hold on to it. Like, yeah, there's hodlers, you know, because they know better. But the transferring of money between those networks is what's needed, because Polkadot don't got a bridge anywhere. So that's why Polka Bridge exists. So you can have that bridge from Polkadot to ETH to Binance, or back and forth, or whatever, what have you. Because think about it. Americans, they can't buy Binance, they can't sign up for Binance. So what do they got to do to get into the Binance ecosystem? They can buy Polka Bridge, they can bridge over to the Binance Smart Chain through the network, and now you're on Binance. Now you can buy Binance things. So think about all these users that are trying to get to different places but can't, because there's limitations, and that's why these bridges exist. So you could get from one place to the next. It's that use case. So that massive use case through that small cap, it's going to be a banger. And so that was the whole reason why I called it.
And also what you just said, you know, I wouldn't buy Polkadot, the crypto, but that if you want exposure to it like that, same as PNG, right? Avalanche is too large of a cap for me, although bullish. I want exposure to the ecosystem where they're going to buy these DEX tokens, probably PNG, Trader Joe, whatever.
So, okay. So love that you just said that. All right. PNG, perfect example. Perfect example. I don't really care to buy AVAX. You know, it's a good coin. You know, I don't care to buy it. But guess what? You know, so PNG is a good coin. It's going to get heavy volume, whatever. But what do they advertise all the time? PNG, bridge, songbird. Yeah. PNG, bridge, flare. PNG, blah, blah. It's exposure. You see what's happening? It's just a bridge to get over there. So the transfer of money is going to make more volume, and when it's going through small compressed tokenomics, it's going to get price action. And that's what we're waiting for, because the DEXs and those bridges are what get a lot of volume. So when these admins are producing tokens that have small caps and they're going to produce high volume, you're going to get that price action. So like, that's the whole reason behind me holding shit like math, or not math, but PNG or PBR, you know, or any of those bridges, those DEX tokens, you know, those are certain things that are good before these bull cycles get ramped up, because a lot of people want to get different tokens. And, you know, you might be from some country that you can't get a particular coin. So you got to buy something that you could bridge with. See? Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's no different than Base, right? The coin's on Base. What do you got to do? You buy fucking ETH. Base is on ETH. Base is an extension of ETH. So in order to get to Base, what do you got to do? You got to buy ETH, and then you got to bridge over.
The way I look at it too, because I learned a lot about bridging this cycle. I didn't know much about it last cycle. Like exchanges like Coinbase, they don't really list BNB chain. They list all Ethereum chain, right? So some of these cryptos will bridge from the BNB chain to Ethereum, because now they have the catalyst of that exposure, plus now Coinbase can list it. Or in some cases, I see ERC20s bridging to the Solana chain. So like you just said, bridging, it creates that exposure. The marketplace expands more, and it draws more interest in. And then, by the way, I don't know if you saw Suku's recent page, going back to what you said with XLM, like again, DeFi, right? Now they have Suku Pay live, and they just put up something on Twitter with Polygon, where now you can send cross-border payments to Suku. So again, Web3, right? DeFi. That's bullish. And then my recent play, I don't know if you saw it, I got into Forta, backed by Coinbase, backed by like 10 VCs. It's in Web3.
Yeah, I know what you're talking.
It reminds me very much of PRQ before it became bearish, and Chainlink together. So it essentially tracks down, and it has a resume on their page of numerous companies they already saved, or at least detected the activity, and they were able to shut it down. So I look at that as an visionary, right? Mass adoption, blockchain growing, activity growing. Unfortunately, you're going to see bad actors come to the space too. So now what are you going to do? You're going to outsource as a company, okay, Forta, or someone along the lines of Forta, to now on your company to track the on-chain data and track the malicious actors coming in and trying to hack the chain, whatever. So that was one of the reasons I got into. It's a new crypto as well. So
I think people should look at Suku as like like more of a long-term holder. Like it's not going to be a fast mover.
no.
But, you know, it's going to get high ass volume because you got to think about, like, if you look at WhatsApp right now, WhatsApp, you could send money through through the messages. So like Suku is kind of like that same sort of vibe where you could send those messages, get payments. And then I like the tweet thing too. Like sending money through tweets is fucking like think about how massive Twitter is already. Right. Yeah. And that's really what Twitter is missing. Twitter is missing payments. You know, right now everything is centralized. All the revenue goes through Twitter, and then it gets sent out to you instead of just directly to you. Yep. And that's kind of like the whole premise behind Web3, to get rid of that middle person. We want to get rid of Twitter. See, that's what's funny about a lot of these Elon worshipers. You know, like this guy's literally not our friend, and you know they promote him to be some humanitarian. He's not. He's really anti-humanitarian, but. The thing is when Twitter's trying to be the middleman. Like when everybody was celebrating them getting licenses to have payments, why the fuck do we need a license? Like that's the whole point of crypto, is to not need permission. A license or a permit for crypto payments is you asking permission to orchestrate a payment. And crypto, the last time I checked, was peer-to-peer fucking payments. Period. And now we got all these bullshit Twitter accounts promoting, oh, Apple and Google are now holding this, and now you could buy Bitcoin through Apple. These are custodians. You're supposed to be the custodian. So, you know, see, back in my day, crypto meant something, you know, and now it's like just, you know, it's getting choked by a lot of these middlemen that have no business trying to put some sort of regulatory ruling over what a peer-to-peer transaction could be. And I think Suku is going to solve a lot of that too. You know, I like projects like that because they remember what crypto is about. Solo and XRP suck. I don't hold any of them. I think they're garbage, to be honest with you. Solo garbage. I think the admin is garbage. He had a great thing going for him, and instead he put it down the drain, bought a mansion, said fuck off, and had green glow stick parties like a fucking you know, I really don't respect him. I think he's a piece of shit, personally.
Dion, let me get what you just said about Suku though. Another I know you're in the middle of destroying Solo. You know,
really like I think it's a waste of time. I don't know why you guys are still holding it.
Just to give the chat who's watching an insight as to how me and Dion get bullish on certain picks, aside from the whole checklist. Like, look at how TikTok blew up. I hate TikTok, by the way. But how did it blow up? In 2020, when everybody was losing their jobs, home, whatever, and the non-essential workers, apparently I was essential. I didn't want to be, but I was. So you got to think of it in the future, right? I read a study once where they said by 2050, more than half the workforce is going to be entrepreneurs. So TikTok blew up. It turned people from nothing to millionaires overnight. Twitter is trying to be the all-in-one, one-stop shop app. Everyone's trying to do it. Twitter came out with Reels. Twitter's doing video now. So again, what's the missing link? Donations, which I heard Twitter just did apparently. So now when you factor in a Web3 wallet where anybody can send crypto, that's bound to come. And then who's going to do that? Companies like Suku. So again, it's like imagining the future of where we're heading and what's literally transpiring in front of us, which is a digital age, DeFi, Web3. You know, this is not a coincidence. This is all literally happening right before our eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for the most part. I know we have a lot of like bearish things coming out right now. Like, I think about like the inflation reports that have been coming out. We just got through getting like a 3.5% report. And we're not doing anything to stop inflation from going higher. So I anticipate it being higher when it comes time to like May 15th, the next CPI report. So I expect bad news there. And then we got to see if the Fed's going to either hike or pause. So we'll see what happens. But again, there's so many things that can happen between now and then that could be bullish for the market. I think we're still at the very beginning of everything. To be honest, It's definitely a regulatory year. I'm pretty happy about that because like it'll help everybody just, you know, by process, get things done. Um, but yeah, Lo Wang, you should probably buy core 1, 2, or 3, or the 5th core token or whatever core you came up with.
DYP. How about DYP?
Yeah, like you just start buying all that bullshit, you know.
That's what, I disagree with BitBoy on that one. DYP. I don't like migrations. I saw that cause a bunch of comments, and I ignored them.
So we had a member bring that up, you know, and he's kind of crazy, but at first I liked that token, but you know, once a token migrates or once some sort of migration happens, I don't want to deal with it because like the problem is you only get like each cycle you get 1 or 2 years to hold that token, you know, like for your massive peaks, you know. Some tokens you want to hold forever. Some tokens you really do want to marry and you want to create a life portfolio. Okay. In crypto, it's scary to try to do that. You have to really know what you're doing and you have to really know what the plan is on that project. And once I see that an admin has the ability or like has the, I'm just going to migrate, you know, type of mentality, that to me is a signal that I can't hold that token forever. So when you can't hold a token for a year or 2 years, that means that you're not going to get 50, 100x. You see what I'm saying? So because you can't get that 50, 100x from holding long, then there's really no point in holding the token. You see what I'm saying? Can it be a short play? Maybe, but like, again, it's so much risk. It's like, it's kind of like what happened with Gala. Gala was an amazing call at one point and it turned into shit because they kept altering the tokenomics and then they wanted to migrate and like all this stuff harms investors. And, you know, personally, I just feel like, you know, if a token is created, you know, you could still use it, you know, just keep using it, you know, keep trying to figure something out. Like if dog and sheep could be legitimized and they're the stupidest tokens out there, then there's no reason why you can't keep legitimizing it. And but the problem is a lot of these admins is, you know, oh, I sold all my tokens, so I'm just going to mint new tokens. Oh, I sold all of them, so I'm just going to mint new tokens. And that's the problem. So whenever I see, you know, for instance, like what happened with Solo, he probably sold all his coins. So he was like, well, I'm just going to make core now, you know, and then we're going to do core 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to have a whole new ecosystem. And then now nobody gives a fuck about Solo. No one even gives one shit about it. So, you know, now it's never going to be the same. So once that sort of like deviation happens and you got that capital interest split, you're not going to get the same scalability because now you got interest being divided up everywhere. And a lot of people are never going to understand that. They'll marry the brand and they'll get led straight to hell. And, you know, they think, oh, well, I made money this one time, you know, but meanwhile, they don't understand that at that one time, all the interest was in one place. And now it's not just in one place. Now that capital interest is split up 10 fucking ways because your hero decided to split up 10, 15 ways. See what I'm saying? So you're never going to get the scalability again. And a lot of people, you know, they're too sauced and they don't want to understand that, you know, and I tried to save a lot of people. I really did. I'm notorious for calling bottoms and tops. And I've seen a lot of people get wrecked for not listening on both sides of that field. And I really don't feel sorry for you. Sorry.
Hey Dion, can I share, since you bring up that point, you know, a lot of people like hearing the good, not the bad, which I don't really care, it's whatever. But can I share my screen? I want to bring up Grand Base real quick, the one that we saw on Twitter. Can I share real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So for those who don't know, this got a lot of hate. Apparently, they had a hack. Their liquidity pool was drained. And listen, a lot of people will just blindly be like, okay, great. I have it right here if you want to share it. I don't know if you have it on. It's right there in that thing. Can you see it or no? I think you have to share.
Where'd you send it?
No, it's right here at the bottom of your screen, StreamYard, where you see me right here. we're so bad. We're so bad at technology. It's right here. I have it pulled up. Okay, well, let me see. It's on CoinMarketCap right there, Grand Base. But so I was reading an article where it says their private key was compromised. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, compromise how? Did someone take it and ran? Like, I always get skeptical when I hear things like that because you really don't know if it legitimately was hacked or if the team just decided to take the money and run. Now, I'm not saying they are doing that. I'm just saying there's always a possibility of that. They wouldn't be the first ones to do that. I think it was what, Safe Moon? The team was literally draining.
What pick are you talking about?
It's called Grand Base. It's,
Grand Base.
Yeah. The one I pulled up on Twitter not too long ago where I said this is how it went down like 99% in 24 hours.
Oh shit! Yeah, I think I remember that post.
I have it right here. I don't know if you see. You probably don't see it, but it's right.
I'm gonna see it from your Twitter account, but I remember that post where it was like straight down.
It's a right angle. It right now it's a penny. So in 7 days it was almost $3. It was $2.97. So it's like a 300x the opposite way. And it sucks because, if you were just sleeping, you would have missed that. And it happens in crypto. That's why people stay out of cryptos for that very reason. They don't trust crypto for those reasons.
Yeah.
But again, like SafeMoon, right? They called it a hack or something like that. And they found out they were draining the liquidity pool themselves, driving McLarens around and all that. So like,
you remember the sauce that everybody was under with, I love talking about rugs.
I know, I guess people pissed off, but it's like, we're just trying to help you.
I remember. I mean, it's part of the game. It is what it is. Look. I could be wrong. I mean, look what happened with Luna Classic. It was a complete rug. Everyone was all upset. But then after it crashed to zero, people made a little bit of money. I mean, look at FTX. It went to zero. People making money on it. Like, look. Yeah. I'll always give you, whatever. I'll always give you guys the benefit of the doubt on whatever rugs that you guys love, because look, when it comes to crypto, like everything really does boil down to some sort of opinion. So it is what it is. And my opinion is strong on things, and you guys probably have strong opinions on different things too, So like, to the audience, don't take what I say to the heart, it's just what it is. That's just my opinion. But Alliance Block was a good one. That was a good rug.
That's NXRA now.
Yeah, that was a good one because everybody was so sauced on it. I told everybody to get out of it as soon as they said that.
I remember you making that video.
I remember you were so mad. They were so mad about it. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. It is what, like, I've done this enough. I've been in the cycles enough to see a rug coming. It was kind of like Hex. When people told me, I was like, Hex is going to go to zero. I was like, Hex is going to go to zero because Pulse Chain is coming out. And I talked to all their little heroes, all their little leaders and all that shit. And they agreed with me. Okay. And then everybody's like, oh man, fuck that guy. He's a scammer, man. Fuck that. Fucking Richard Hart. And they're like pole writing him forever. And I'm like, dude, no, it's not that I'm hating. It's the process. It's the process. It's not that I'm hating on it. It's the process. If you go and make a new ecosystem, you go make a new mainnet, you go make a new layer, you make a new token, it's going to get drained out from this last one. And that's exactly what happened. So imagine all these guys that are EHEX that staked for 15 years. They're fucked. Zero.
I would never stake to begin with.
And I told people, I was like, look, that shit's going to go to zero. And if I were y'all, I would sell everything you can and then just go buy the new token and you'll probably get it for cheaper and you'll get your liquidity. And no, Dion, you're wrong. I'm just going to hold this stake out and it's going to work out for me. Well, guess what? Zero. But you know what, though? At least you got your airdrop. At least you got your airdrop. At least you got your airdrop. That's what it was. But you literally could have just sold everything. And like, that's what I do. As soon as I hear some dumb shit like that, and look, it is what it is. It's opportunity. It's opportunity. It's a signal. To me, it's a signal. It has nothing to do, like, see, to me, crypto is like sports. It has nothing to do with a right or wrong sort of thing. You're like, yeah, there's things that are wrong and whatever. Okay. But for those of you that have the balls or you've been through the emotional turmoil of the markets already, you guys have been here for a while. For the new guys, you're going to learn this through experiences and losses and gains and whatever. Okay. But for those of you that don't get, emotionally distraught and you like super hate somebody or like you really dislike somebody personally, like in a personal sense, like a business sense is business. It's like, whatever, I don't like you, But there's a lot of people that are so new to crypto that they'll like hate somebody in a personal way. Like I really hate this person personally, right? And those people, they're typically, you know, like impoverished, you know, people are poor, brokies, you know, they don't get it. They're never going to get it. But the losers. But for the people that have been here long enough, or they know what it's like, you know, they know what everything is, right? They take a look at the signals, and they look at the signal like, oh, this is going to be, you know, this is going to be a rug right now, or this is going to go down, or, you know, whatever. As soon as I hear that word migration, or, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Like there's certain things where I'll be like, okay, I got to get out now. This is a top signal. I'm selling everything. Let everybody know, hey, this is what's going to happen next. And you listen to me or don't, and, you know, and I'm out the back door. And it is what it is. And that's what I did. You know, as soon as I found out, like as soon as, like, see, when I sold all my hex, I sold a little bit too early. I sold around the 20-cent mark or whatever. And I sold a fuckload. I had a lot. I had so much hex that it would make some of the hexagons look like shrimp. But I had so much of it. As soon as he announced that he was creating Pulse Chain, I was out the back door. I was gone. I was like, all right. And I was like, I'm bullish. I like him. I like Richard. I think he's cool. I like, you know, that there's going to be a new system. That's going to be a new opportunity. But as for this opportunity, it's over. Same thing with Solo. As soon as he introduced a new token, this opportunity is over. You know, same thing with any other migration token, any other bullshit token that you guys could talk about. It don't matter what brand it is. It don't matter how cool the admin is. He could be an angel sent from God himself. It could be Jesus Christ. Shout out to Maker Lee. Okay. It could be literally the best person in the world. But as soon as that process begins, you should already know what the process is going to be. And you could still love that person all you want, but the business process is going to be the same. So that's why I was out the back door. And people get all personally upset with me when I call it out. It don't matter what brand it is. It don't matter how nice or real or how pure-hearted the person is. It's not like they're stabbing you and they're doing something like they really don't like you and they're scammers or, you know, whatever you want to call them. It's just the process. If you know a token's going to go down due to a process, you get the fuck out.
And let me say this. I know this is your channel, so the majority of your audience knows, but in case my channel's here, like Dion's not just saying this from his own experience. He's also an admin for his own crypto, okay? MYC token, I think, right? Yeah. So he knows like how you can, like, from the admin background of what it entails of why admins feel the need to migrate to not migrate, okay? Changing the code and not changing the code. So you're not just getting someone who's just telling you from like holding a pick. He runs a pick himself. So it's like this is the guy who knows more than anyone else when it comes to that side of it. And to add to what you said, I mean, whether they drain the liquidity out, which happens a lot, and move it to the next one, it's worst case, it's divided interest. And that alone is going to either suppress the price or just make it a stable coin, which
and MYC tokens, the contract's renounced. So no one can touch it. It's there forever. It don't matter. No matter what happens. I could die tomorrow. And it's the contract's renounced. It's going to be there forever. Nothing could be changed. So that's what's nice about that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like when you have a divided interest migration, you have different picks. Yeah. It doesn't matter how bullish we used to be. Like, and people think like, oh, how could you? They think you're attacking them. How could you say my crypto is bad? Well, do you like your money, or do you want me to just make you feel good and say you're going to go to zero, but you'll be feeling good about it? Like, no, we're trying to help you save your money or make money. You may not like the answer, but I'll be honest. In personal life, some of the best advice I got was a mean ass person telling me how it is.
Look, you know, I've been through a lot of shit in my life, like a lot. I'm going through a lot of shit in my life. But I'll tell you one thing. I rather hear the shittiest truth and live the shittiest truth than be fucking getting spewed beautiful, cute little lies. Feel me? So, you know, it don't matter what you're talking about. It could be fucking anything. You know, you want to live the truth, the lie, you know? And crypto is no different. If there's a truth on something, all right, well, it is what it is, you know? But I'm not gonna. There's, you know, my community members. They've been with me for 5 years now, and you know, I've always been a straight shooter. I've always been direct, and you know, if something fails, it fails, and it is what it is. We can go to zero by the night. I always tell people, look, you know, a lot of us have been together for 100x, 1000x, you know, crazy ass multipliers together, but we've also been together for fucking zeros. Okay, and it's not fucking. it's not always rainbows, you know. So, and I'm sorry I curse so much for some of you guys that are more clean cut. I'm not, you know. But again, a lot of my community members could vouch for me that, you know, there's a lot of times where, you know, I've literally called a top or I said, hey, it's time to get out. This is what was said, or this is what's going on. We got to get out. And they'd be like, okay, now Dion, it's all good, blah, blah, blah. No, okay, well, I was out the back door at the top, and then you just fucking see the plunge, you know, and then it's like, oh, it was Dion's fault because he said this. I'm like, no, it's not. It's because that's the process, you know. They said this or they said that. Guess what? The rug is coming, okay? It is what it is, you know. Not everything is. See, the thing a lot of people forget about crypto is they're all called projects because they're startups. Startups are so risky. Like, every project in the crypto sector, it don't matter who it is, don't matter how much money is backing it. It could be fucking Mark Zuckerberg, okay? 99% of projects fail. 99% of projects fail. 99% of businesses fail, okay? When you're in this sector, you're a venture capitalist, okay? And that is 99% risk on you, okay? And you're in here because you want that high reward. Well, guess what? The reward could be 100x or it could be fucking zero. It could be the rope. For some of you. But, you know, but a lot of people, you know, they don't want to hear that. But it's like, look, I mean, how many times for you know, how many times you run into you know, a YouTuber or someone that's new and they get slaughtered because a pick don't do well, you know, and it's because they set up the false expectations. They set up those bad expectations that everything's going to be rainbows, and it's not. So it's not to be, you know, mean or discouraging. It's just we want to do good ourselves, and we also, when we see something, we're going to say something. That's it.
Something I will add to that too that I learned this cycle. See, it goes to show you can always learn even when you think you know it all, right? Is the mentality of diamond handing. I understand people think you have to stay in a project for a long time to make money, and they're not wrong. You buy bottoms, you hold, right? But there's times where you pivot when you see weird shit going on, like in this case, admins messing around, the project migrating, something comes out. Because like you said, it's a project, right? So projects can be good one day, bad the next. So we're not telling you guys to be flip-flopping. Yeah, we're not telling you guys to be flip-flopping every day. We're telling you be open-minded enough to not be married to that crypto in the small chance they do something that's a deal breaker and then you get out.
Yeah, like you can't, you know, you know, boys and girls, okay? This is crypto relationships, okay? The crypto relationships, you know, when it comes to crypto relationships, it's not a, you know, you did something wrong, I'll let this slide, I'll forgive you type of. It's either dead or alive in crypto, okay? So be careful out there and keep tabs yourself. You know, me and John, we have a lot of picks, or we go through a lot of picks, or, you know, whatever. We hold on to our main plays, but like we have so many new users that you gotta give new bottoms to new people and all that stuff. That's fair. It's fair for you, fair for me, fair for everybody.
Right? Something I actually changed when I first came in, right? I used to be like, oh, just hold 3, 10 picks, whatever. So I remember you told me one time when I brought up meme coins, separate portfolios. So now how I'm doing it right now, for those who don't know how I do it, I have like 3 to 10 main bags that are heavily allocated towards meme portfolio, which is just throwaway money. And then the low caps that you and I have been calling, those are like, you know, 1-time plays, 2-time plays, whatever. Those are just surprises. They can, you know, 10x, 20x, 50x. And sometimes in cases like Aerodrome, it becomes one of your main backs because they pump so much. So that's how I've been doing it. I don't know how you do it, Dion, but I'm okay now with holding many picks. To me, it's more about the individual's income, how much risk they have, and how much time they want to allocate to their plays. But I noticed when you have a select few of main plays, essentially your hedges and your blue chips, then your meme coins that you don't really care about, and then your low caps that you just kind of jump in and just wait for the cycle. I feel like that's probably the least stressful way, but also a good way to make a lot of money and have that exposure. I mean, what do you think, though?
It goes back to what I was saying. It's like when the whole reason why we have a main play is because we know they're not going to migrate. We know they're not going to we know we could be there long term. See what I'm saying? And because we know we could be there long term, we're gonna hold long and we can go for that 50-100x, because that's why we're here, right? We're here for that 50-100x, and you can't do that without time. So when it comes to keeping a tab on what you're holding, you know, you got to keep tabs on it so that way you can know you could hold it for that long, because that's the whole premise behind the migration thing. Like, if I know an admin's done that, or he's thinking about it, or something is happening around that, it sucks for me, because it's like, damn, you know, I'm at a 10x right now. I would love to hold this for longer, but this guy is going to do this, so I'm going to take this now. See what I'm saying? Like, so, and that's what sucks, because it's like, you know, everything was doing good, right? But you could have had way more. You could have had way more, but
like PRQ.
You need to do something else.
PRQ. That was one that you and I both loved.
It's mine in PRQ. Go ahead, man. You go ahead. Tell that one.
PRQ, that was a pick you and I genuinely loved. I loved it. Like, I really did. When I found out they were migrating, you know, I think you're the one that first told me about it, and I saw my Twitter post, and they, you know what I'm starting to notice? They're starting to understand retail is getting wary of migrations. So some will call it a rebrand or an integration or some weird fancy fucking word to, they're migrating, but they want to sell it in a nice, we're going to upgrade. That's what's going on. It's an upgrade now. We're gonna upgrade.
We're gonna do an upgrade. Yeah, man. Trannies, I'm telling you, these little transformers. Yeah, shout out to the fucking Moby community. Yeah, look, I'm telling you, we've dealt with so many migrations throughout the cycles, you know, that and shout out to my boy Sam, shout out to my brother. That's like, he's like blood to me, you know, just like you're like blood to me. You know, I've met so many great people in this sector, man. I've met Sam's been like my brother since, like, you know, since I was like way young, you know, literally. But yeah, like, you know, we've been through enough where we know what's coming, and that's the whole point. And it sucks because it's like, yeah, you know, we're being upsold during the hype and like making money, and it's hard to detach, because it's man, this is doing well. The admins are doing good. The tokens everything is doing good. And then boom, you get that bad news. You're like, oh no, I got to detach. And that's why I'm saying, like, you can't, you know, crypto relationships, you can't sit there and be like, oh, I forgive you, baby. You know, I'm gonna let this slide. You know, it's like, no, you get that flag, you got to get out of there. You know, because if you don't, you're gonna get hurt.
Two more examples. Gala, I didn't want to sell that, but I didn't like what I was seeing. And now the team's in freaking court. Coinbase never relisted V2. And then Jasmine, I love Jasmine at one point. I was making videos all the time. I was holding it over a million tokens. I actually took a big hit on Jasmine. I took like a 25-30% hit. It still went up. But again, this is not about, you know, dun being engaged to the crypto. Like, even though I liked it on day one, if I see shit that I don't agree with and don't like, that's a deal breaker to me. I'm not going to hesitate. Again, I know you guys get married to communities. It's just digital money. That's all it is. It's digital money, a company with a name on it, but your dollars are behind it. So, like, if you get married to the idea of it and not look around and see what's happening in front of you, that's how you essentially get rugged or essentially not make the best gains. And, you know, those are two picks that I used to like a lot, especially Gala. It was I used to like Townstar and stuff. But once they started printing tokens and the whole theft now with the migration, I couldn't stand behind it anymore. And unfortunately, I had to pivot. I got to pay for it.
Gala was a big disappointment too.
It was.
Yeah, that was.
Till this day, I get hate for it, and it's like 4 cents.
We did good on it. Call was in decimals. Did good on it.
Yeah.
That was a good call, man. That was a good call. I remember we got into that last cycle too. Same thing with like SHX. I found Gala and SHX at the same time, way back.
You made some bangers, man.
Math token is still good, Mr. Jeremy. Math token is still good. Let me hold your hand. Okay.
Let me hold your hand.
On. Don't worry. It's still good.
I see NFT Queens in the house. She's in my Discord.
No, but yeah, you know, I think no, guys, look, a lot of these calls are still good. Okay, I don't want you guys to get things to it. Arrow is still good. You know, Math, PNG, Arc Block, LCX. You know, PBR Poker Bridge is the main target right now. It's fucking heavy ass banger right now.
Yeah.
Fuku. You know, nothing's over, guys. Look, when I made that call, you know, we've gone up and we've done pretty well, but like the past couple days, you know, the market's been at a pause, or the market's been like stalling, but it's not over yet. You know, now we're on a green wave, you know, so now the gate's open. So you're going to get those bigger spikes coming, and a lot of different of these coins. So, you know, just because you saw red line for the 2 days, okay, 2 days, you big fucking babies, 2 days, 2 days. And a lot of our people are like catching like cabin fever. Twitter had cabin fever, you know, and it was just 2 days, people going crazy. And it's like, relax, you know, but we could go to zero. You're right. You know, you know, oh man, good stuff. Well, we just ran it an hour, bro. I mean, it's always good to talk to you, man. I got nothing else. If you were gonna make one call right now, what call would it be?
At the moment, I like Fordo a lot. I actually just reposted a post from them. I think the future is Web3 and DeFi. And aside from Art Block, LCX, the bangers we called already, I think finding emerging marketplaces with future trends is the best way to go, in my opinion. And
you bullish on Poker? You bullish?
It sounds great. Yeah, from what you explained. Like I said, it's not about being bullish and bearish because I do like it. I just don't want to use a VPN or buying a DEX. So I'm just not. It's literally like if I want to get it, I would.
One day, I'm going to get Crypto John to download MetaMask. Okay, one day.
One day, yeah.
But
you gotta figure out how to dual stream first because I can't even do that, right?
If I could make one call, it would be Poker Bridge, PBR, and you could find it on ETH. Okay, there's 10 exchanges that you could buy it on. But you know, if you don't want to get any of those exchanges like Crypto John here, you could always get a MetaMask. You can swap for it, you know. But PBR is going to be a mega banger for me. And you know, we'll catch you guys on the next one. All right. And thanks for sharing time with me, John. It's always good to talk to you.
Likewise, this is like hanging out, man. I love it, and I look forward to hopefully more dual streams. We'll figure that out. But yeah, great time.
I think South Beach, Miami, and Vegas. You know, I think that's going to happen. And you know, I've been considering New York. So maybe we'll do New York too. Let me go ahead and end this stream, and we'll talk about strippers. Crypto.